Hello, race fans. Welcome to Short Track Guys podcast, brought to you by ShortTrackExclusives.com. I am your host, Thomas Faddis, alongside two other short track guys and good friends of mine, Jim Pokeran, the driver of the 07 Can'tQuitFishing.com Sportsman, here locally at Five Flag Speedway, and Ted Baber of Ted Baber Video Productions, here also locally at Pensacola, Florida. What's up, guys?
Good evening.
How's it going?
It's going good, and we've got a lot to catch up to. We're in between weeks. You got a sportsman driver here locally at Five Flag Speedway who's won 5 in a row. Jim,
Do you have to?
you've got your work cut out for you. You're still, in between weeks, you haven't done anything really to maybe just improve the car, but you're still 22 points behind and going into week 6 here Friday night. What's been going on this week with the car?
Well, we're getting mine lubed up and ready. I had to lubricate some trailing arms and found some problem with the brakes we worked on, and also getting my teammate car, Brock Gens's car, ready to race. He's taking a 2-race hiatus because of football. So my 15-year-old teammate's going to be ready to rock, and hopefully we'll get him running good. And just tune in the car a little bit, maybe do a little change in the timing. I don't know what else to do. I don't want to make comments on what I think about that 00 car because I might get myself into trouble. But it is what it is. We're 8-year-old chassis with a 6-year-old motor and a 20-something-year-old veteran, 28-year veteran of stock car racing. So I can beat him. I just got to have equal cars. And right now he's got a better car than we've got.
Just a little bit more equal than others.
Yeah, some cars. We had a guy named Steve Buttrick that used to wear us out. And I'm going to tell you something. Because he was one hell of a race car driver. Yep. He would get in somebody else's car and win. Stevie Mercer, perfect example, sold his old car to Johnny Green. And Stevie built a brand new car. They spent a ton of money on this car. And Steve jumped in Johnny Green's car, which was Stevie's old car, and beat him in it. That's embarrassing.
Well, I've seen Steve go over to Mobile and just wear those guys out too, and it just frustrated the crap out of them because he could do it.
Yeah, and that car he had wasn't nice. It sat on the trailer on blocks outside with no tarp. He didn't care.
Yeah, I remember when Steve came over from the dirt track, and his first season was like an 06 or 07 or 08, something on that era, and it was not really good.
No,
I can admit, and he would admit that. But after his first season, because he and Gary Robinson and I would pit kind of close together.
Yeah, I was helping y'all then.
Yeah,
helping you then.
After the first year, he just lit up. So he figured it up. He got the grip, and he just took off, and he just started winning races from there on out.
Well, one of his secret weapons is the guy that's helping me, John Ruth, and I got to thank John a lot for all his help because John helps Kevin Mitchell, who races dirt late models also. And John is just a genius when it comes to setups and things like that. I can pick his brain, and he's like, do this or do that. Or he builds me my shocks, and man, makes a big difference. It's good to have good people to help you. And he don't charge me anything. He comes and helps, if I call him and ask him a question, he's there to answer. And, you can't help that. You really, one of the things I love about this particular type of racing is everybody's kind of a family. We help each other, and we don't give each other secrets. We don't want to get beat. I tell people that I help, and I've told Brock this, and once you get to my rear bumper consistently, you're on your own.
That's it. You got to figure it out from there.
Yeah, when you start running where I'm looking behind me and I'm worried about you, then I'll still be there to help you on stuff, but my secrets go away.
Yeah, I don't believe there's a lot of truth that goes down in the pits either, though. To be honest with you. You could be friends and everything and, hey, what's up? Knuckle, fist, pump up, whatever. But I don't believe there's a lot of truth that goes on as a helper, so to speak. Maybe give you a part and you figure out where it goes and how it sets up. But
yeah, but, I'm not like that, as far as helping other people, because I've had the promoter at Five Flags, Tim Bryant, tell people, Ben Cranford, who I help now, Ben went to Tim and said, who do I go to, man? I don't know anybody that'll help me. And everybody I've talked to BS's me. And that happens. I've had people give me BS stuff, and I'm thinking, yeah, right. But Ben came to me, and I'm going to help. It's like Brock. I'm helping him. And I've helped a couple other people. And matter of fact, I've got a car sitting over there right now that's for sale, and I think I got somebody that's going to buy it, and we're going to help him build a car. So, we're busy. But I don't mind helping somebody till they start running on my rear bumper, and then you can figure the rest of it out yourself because I've got you that close.
Well, hopefully you'll figure something out Friday night, get to that 00, and see the outcome, and maybe always chasing that first elusive win for the year.
Yep.
And you've got some work cut out for you for sure, because it's just 5 in a row, 22 points behind, and you're gonna have to step up on your game and get behind him and do something, get in front of him, and take that checker flag, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Well, and the other thing is, it's. We beat him before. Last year at the end of the season, we outrun him. And then last year, I missed the opportunity to win a couple more races. Last year, the opening night, I missed a shift on a restart and wound up finishing third when I should have won it. But, if and buts were candy nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. But, it's just part of the game. You're going to break stuff. I've had a shifter handle break off in my hand, and I had the fastest car of the night. Took off on the outside, shifted in high gear, and the shifter broke off, and I had no gears. I've had the clutch go to the floor. I've had just weird stuff, but it happens to everybody, not just me.
Little gremlins.
Yeah, little gremlins. Consider, like I said, the old girl I'm driving is 8 to 9 years old. She was built in a dirt floor barn in Lillian, Alabama by an old buddy of mine, ex-friend of mine, I should say. And we're still running the same car. The motor's 6 years old. I bought it off of a dude they called Hollywood. He was in a truck. Yep. And I called the company who rebuilt it, and they told me all about it. So I bought it and put it in a truck, and it took me like a season to win a race with it. But, it needs to be freshened up. Anybody out there, that wants to sponsor a car that's finished in the top 3 in the last 13 races would have been probably the Snowball Derby winner if I hadn't cut a left rear tire. So, anybody out there wants to help out an old racer and this podcast, we would appreciate that too. If you would like to help out on this, we would love to, use your name as on one of our segments.
Yeah, absolutely. The more the merrier, right?
That's it.
So we've got you in preparation to get to Friday night, and we've got a big schedule with the Surf 100, the super late models, with the Southern Super Series race coming in. It's the number 1, and we've got a huge lineup. It's just like a stellar lineup coming in. And we'll get to that a little bit later. I'm going to back up a little bit from this Memorial Day weekend that just passed us with the Salute to Troops 100 in Jefferson Speedway in Jefferson, Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. And we talk about a lot of these big name drivers. We're doing a local, regional, and national level on the short track series. But this was a big race, and we went through the Rich Pickles, his last season as a driver. Yeah. Who knows where that will end up? Well, he's got a protege coming up, and like the Grant Thompsons, and what's the other guy last week we had a young kid that took the truck over from Grant Thompson. Oh,
I can't think of his name right now. I know the kid you're talking about, the 38 truck.
Yeah, the 38 truck, the 12-year-old that came in. It just did a phenomenal. So who knows what Rich Bickle's going to do after this year? But he was part of that Salute to the Troops 100 in Jefferson. And with Ty Majeski and Casey Johnson, Gabe Summers, Rich Bickle, Luke Fenhouse, Paul Schaefer, the Snowball Derby, participant, Austin Nason, Dalton Zaire, and
Dalton Zaire's run here, and so Austin Nason has also.
Yeah, and Justin Mundick. So these guys,
they're no slouches.
They run in Wisconsin. John DeAngelis is coming as one of the big names that we've got coming down. In fact, their team left this morning from Hubertus, Wisconsin, to come down and run this Friday night. I don't know if they're going to go to Montgomery. I don't see why they wouldn't, but I'm pretty sure that they have made that in their schedule. I haven't heard anything about them going to Montgomery, but I don't know why they wouldn't. It's on the way back up to Wisconsin. But John's been down here with Alex Prunty and Dennis Prunty, that whole family with Majeski's and all those guys up in the ARCA Midwest Tour. Have come down and they run that big, Southern Super Series race. Yes. And the lineup, Ted, you have more names that are on that list that are coming in for Friday nights.
It is a huge list, and we have a lot that we have heard of and some that we haven't. You got, like you said, you were talking about DeAngelis, you got Ryan Crane, relatively local. We got Johanna Long, Chris Davidson, Connor Okrezik, Hunter Robbins, Jeff Chaquette, good Lord, Jeremy Pate. It is a absolutely stacked field, and that's just a few.
Yeah, Yeah, just a few. And I want to throw out to Kyle Bryant.
Right.
With part of the Bryant family that runs and promotes and owns Five Flags Speedway, and have done an unbelievable job of what they've been able to accomplish and grow the sport even more than what it was before they even took over. But Kyle I understand, is running the 81 Friday night in a tribute to his grandfather.
Right.
Yes,
correct.
Yeah, his grandfather in a nursing home now. Don't even, Bill don't even come to the races anymore. It's a shame. We miss him out there. He's the patriarch of the family, and he's doing a tribute to his grandpa, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, obviously. And Jesse Dutilli from 417 Southern Speedway down with the Sunshine State Racing, which I think I made contact with Jennifer Brinson, and I think we're going to have potentially her on next Wednesday as a guest, to bring a little bit more light into some of kind of connecting the dots, from South Florida to Texas with Chris Davidson and Pearland with the guys up in Wisconsin, and all coming together. It seems like Pensacola has become a central point for a lot of these big races.
Well, a lot of these guys are coming down and they want to run some races to get ready for the snowball. That's the big prize. And, if you've never raced here, you're not going to come in. There's very few people that come in and make the Snowball Derby that have never raced here or made an attempt, because the old girl's got some age on her and the surface is rough. It eats up tires. You got to be able to make that car work.
Well, and some of the names that we haven't heard of, like Chase Hansen, Nick Neary.
Grant Thompson's running the other late model series. He was testing a car at Nashville.
Matt Craig and Jeremy Doss, Jet Noland. Absolutely.
So we've got
field.
California represented. We've got Texas represented. We've got Wisconsin represented.
North Carolina,
Georgia, and South Florida. Yeah. So, and this is just I want to say just a Southern Super Series Blizzard Series race, but it's a big deal in the Super Late Model Series, and which is what our whole podcast is all based around: local, regional, and national level, to get some of these names out there and get people aware of what's going on and what races are happening. Because you've got the Jesse Dutillis, you've got the guys up there in the Midwest and the ARCA series like John DeAngelis and Alex Prunty and all those guys, Dennis Prunty, Michael Goddard. The guys come down and they run and compete with Chris Davidson. So it's almost like an all-star situation where you got guys come from all over the country, not just with a derby, but they're running the big races, in Nashville, the All-American. They're running the Dells Raceway. I mean, we just got through with that the Troops race up in Wisconsin and Jefferson, and we watched the interview with Ty Majeski. Right. He finished 7th at Charlotte in the Turk race and goes to Dells. He goes to Jefferson and wins the race, but his interview was that they had that new car and went to Dells and tested it, and it wasn't really good. Right. They had some work to do with the front suspension, and the team went to work. And what can we say more about Ty Majeski? The dude is just on point just about everywhere he goes, and it's just a matter of time before he starts getting up front, like the John Hunter Nemecheks, the Christian Eckes.
All these former Snowball Derby winners that are racing in NASCAR now. I mean, that have won the Derby, that are now racing in the upper echelons of stock car racing. And you just can't emphasize enough how much it is to win a Snowball Derby. I mean, just how good of a race that it actually is.
You have to stair step to much bigger things every time anybody wins it. That there's at least a possibility you're going to get picked up.
I mean, Noah Gragson. He's another one that won it and moved into the big leagues. I mean, these guys are, there's no slouches in that race. You don't. These Blizzard Series races, there's no slacking. No. If you're going to come, you better bring your A game, because you're not going to do very well if you don't. And it takes a lot of practice and a lot of work.
It does.
I mean, our favorite, Bubba Pollard, which he's not listed to race, come back, Bubba. You're breaking my heart, man. I love watching you win these races, dude. We want you back.
Yeah, I miss Bubba too, and he's got it on his schedule, but I haven't seen Ross Kansas.
I
hate to break away from Bubba, but he's our hero. He's the only Bubba in racing that I know of.
Yeah.
Ross Kansas is teamed up, and he's coming down to run Friday night too, which is wasn't on the paid entry list, but I'm kind of anticipating that Bubba will show up.
Well, I hope so. I sure would love to see him win another. He needs a win. He's had some pretty bad runs lately, but the dude's one hell of a race car driver, and you can't take anything away from any of his accomplishments. I mean, I don't really care for the 51 of Stephen Nasse, but I'm gonna tell you something. He's coming on strong too, and I have to give it to him, and I will say this: I wasn't a fan, but I'm starting to not hate him as much, I should say, because he's actually understanding that he has to interact with the fans. He wasn't before, he didn't, but now he's starting to get a lot of fan base, and that's good. Yeah. I mean, that is a good thing.
I've spoken to him before on autograph sessions, things like that, and he's calmed down a little bit. He's gotten better. So.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be some good racing tomorrow night. Friday night at the racetrack. Excuse me. And the Blizzard Series races are always incredible. It's always a good finish. And man, that man Jesse Dutilly, you were talking about him. He's won one of the Blizzard Series races, and when he first showed up here, dude, I said, "Who is this guy?" Because he was running in the top 5 and actually took the lead. I'm like, "Who the heck is Jesse Dutilly?"
Yeah,
makes you want to do it. Makes you want to do research, and that's something else. People look up your favorite short track guy. Look these people up and talk to them, and look up articles and things, because there's a lot of great people that you need to be fans of. Not that you don't need to be a fan of the upper echelons, but, those guys are up there. We need guys down here, man. Right. They're heroes. They're short track guys.
Yeah, Jeff Chiquette's coming back, too.
That's another great guy. I watched him and Bubba run door to door and for the Snowball Derby one year. I think the last time Kyle Busch won it. They puts on a good show. He's another guy that's got a ton of talent.
Yeah, he's been quoted as saying it's been a while, which we all know, but there's been some nerves, but... Did I forget how to drive these things? I don't think so. He said, "Do I know what I'm doing?"
Definitely.
It's easy to go fast, but can I find a little bit more to get us a win? There's no doubt in my mind. He's done it before. He knows what's going on. He knows how to get in the seat and buckle up and just get it done.
Yeah, he does. He's a great driver. Driving that 21 Cook Motorsports car, that's pretty cool. That's a good race car. They've come close to winning races. They just need that little extra, and maybe Jeff's the one that'll do it for them.
Larry Blunt, and not only that, too, he's part of the major part of the team.
Well, it's Cook Electrical. He owns the company. It's Larry Blunt Motorsports. You're right, Ted. Yeah. Excuse me.
He's got. I also noticed one other name that out of Iowa, of all places, Sammy Smith. We can't leave him out either because
he's another good one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Sammy Smith, Justin Drawdy.
Yeah.
I've got to be a big fan of that because he's got the 12 car. I've always been a fan of everybody that runs a 12 car. 112, 12, that's a big fan of me. But I've watched Justin run this racetrack. Connor O'Kresick.
Right.
Always a threat.
Yeah.
Connor's always a threat to win these races. Jake Garcia's going to be here.
Oh, yeah.
And Daniel Dye. He's a big iRacing guy. And
an ARCA guy, too. He's come close to winning ARCA races.
Yep. Jake Finch, Matt Craig, Lee Tissett. Jeremy Doss coming all the way from California, like we mentioned. I would imagine we'll end up seeing Derek Thorne, which is part of that group out in the West Coast. I want to give them a shout out because they've got a big, a huge show out there, and a lot of them trek all the way from the West Coast to come over here and run these guys. So
I think some of them come over here to get a little revenge for the time that Bubba went out there and kind of put a spanking on them as well. So
it's going to be a big show, and it's going to be Friday, June 4th, which is 2 days from now. If you need any information, it's FiveFlagSpeedway.com. And check it out and get your tickets and get out there and watch the 07. Jim Pokran with the can'tquitfishing.com sportsman and see if you can't get to that bumper, the 00, and maybe cut it, maybe not 6 in a row.
It comes down to that extra money too. There's $250 extra on the line. I might have to use the old chrome horn and move my way, but.
So is the bounty still going?
The bounty's still going. From what I understand, if he wins again this week, he gets the money, which I've never heard of them doing a bounty that way because that's something that Gary Ballou said he used to get so mad about. They'd put a bounty on him, and he's like, well, if I win, don't I get extra money? They're like, no. He's like, that's not fair,
Yeah, well, You can't have everything where you put it.
Yeah. I mean, look, if I was into this for the money, I would have quit a long time ago. I have spent way more than I've ever made.
What that bumper sticker says, crime doesn't pay, neither does racing.
No, but the old joke about how do you make a small fortune in racing? You start with a large one. It's just part of it. I mean, it's, and you get people that get on websites and bitch and moan about the cost of this and the cost of that. And, the only thing I don't know, and I think Mobile International, I wish them the best. I wish I could go over there, but they changed the tire and they run 8-inch wheels. So I had to buy wheels and tires. It's not that I don't want to go over there. It's I can't afford it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when you change things like that, it tends to mess up the drivers that do want to come race for you. But I mean, promoters have to do what they have to do. I don't agree every time with Tim Bryant, but I think he's done an excellent job. It's a great racetrack. They've improved that facility ever since they've been in there. And, I thank them and their track crew. Those guys, man, I'll tell you, I was a head tech official at one time. I don't see how Ricky Brooks or any of those guys take the cussing and screaming that you get from being a tech man, because it's a terrible job. It's a job it's very thankless.
Very.
It's terrible. I've done it. I don't want to ever do it again. So.
Well, he's got a guard up. He's there to do his job, and he's built that reputation. It started years ago, and the guys knew when it got serious, when he started throwing out big names. Yeah. That was like, you come legal or you go home.
That's the way it should be.
And it is. It is the way it should be. Regardless of your name and your pedigree and your reputation and your laundry list of wins, whatever, it doesn't matter. Nope. Ricky plays by the book, and if you're not in the book, you're done.
You're either right or wrong.
The Room of Doom.
That's it, the Room of Doom. And he's created that too, and roomofdoom.com's probably taken. But
it's sad when some people are getting away with stuff, and they're doing it. And it's like, guys, do your job as a tech official. Uh-huh. I've been in situations where the tech official wanted to, and the promoter wouldn't let him, and that ends up jacking the other driver that's, and I understand, I do, because if I didn't, I'd quit a long time ago. I would have sold my car and quit a long time ago. Life isn't fair.
No.
Racing should be, but it's not. And we're out there to have fun, and we're running good. I mean, how many drivers can say they've got 13 top threes in a row?
I've actually heard the comment the other night, last Friday, that if it wasn't for the 00 car, the race for the lead would have been spectacular.
Yeah, like I said the other night in the last podcast, I respect Mr. Langham. I respect Howard and Jonathan and all of them, but if that would have been for the win, he would have got the bumper. I mean, I wouldn't have wrecked him, but I'd have whipped him. I should have anyway, because what would have happened if the 00 would have got thrown out? I'd have finished second. Right. But, it is what it is. I want to race that kid with respect because he races me with respect. Right. He don't ever hit me. He don't do anything dirty. When I'm beside him, he races me side by side. He just had a little bit better car. I was better than him getting in the corner. It would have been real easy to put the bumper to him. But like I said, I respect him. And he hasn't done me dirty or anything wrong, so he gets respect. Now, like I said, it comes down for the win or a snowball derby, I'd move you out of the way, Thomas, to win a snowball derby. I'd move Ted. Ted's one of my best friends in the entire world. I'd move him out of the way to win a snowball derby. I ain't gonna lie.
Move your mama out of the way to win.
Yeah, there are no friends on the racetrack. Now, everybody knows that. You get in the car, that. You might say good luck and everything. You get in the car, you don't know what the 07 is.
Helmet goes on.
It's just another car I have to get by.
Yeah, kind of. But you drive with common sense too, because you wreck your stuff. Whoops, almost said a bad word there.
Stuff.
But if you screw up and you trying to take somebody out intentionally with anger, you end up wrecking yourself.
Right.
Or doing damage to your car. Now, if you're racing hard, you get into one another. Me and Bubba Winslow had a situation where I was up beside him. He come down on me a few years ago. We touched. He wiggled. I backed out of the gas. I let him straighten up. We raced side by side for 2 laps, and I finally cleared him. Now, with 1 to go, he run down the corner and just took my rear bumper off getting in the corner and knocked me up the racetrack. And I felt, now that was dirty. What I did was try to race him the way he wanted to race me. We're still buddies. No big deal. But point is, race people the way you want to be raced.
Right.
We've got some people in this area that just drive like idiots.
Well, we're going to probably find out a lot more about that as we, line up these guests with
Yes.
Connor Sutton. I've got Jennifer Brinson with Sunshine State Racing. She's
That's gonna be a
she's
good
ready to come
interview.
on board on the phone, and now we've made contact with Ricky Brooks, the tech director, tech inspector, with the utmost respect and
Yes.
major short track racing around the country, not just in this area. So we're lining all this stuff up, and hopefully we can get it to where everybody gets a better idea of what's going on and what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And listen to us, leave a review, make sure that you please give us a thumbs up. Just we're trying to make this bigger. We're doing this for y'all too as the fans. We would love to get a super fan on here one night and let him tell us about what he thinks things are going. Because, without fans, there's no racing.
No.
Even with this COVID crap last year where the guys, they had nobody in the grandstands, I don't understand that. You can't have that. You got to have fans.
Right.
They're the people that buy the swag. They're the people that cheer for you. And when, it's so cool sometimes you get out of the car and you do an interview and you hear people cheering for you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know how cool that is, how much that makes you feel good. Or you got somebody one of my crew members, Will, walked up to me one night, shook my hand, said, "Hey man, I'm a big fan of yours. I just want to say hello." And next thing I know, he's on my crew.
Right.
And you, I never would have met you if it wasn't for racing, Ted. You're one of my best friends. Thomas too. Yeah. He pitted next to me when that loaded his car was running cruddy, and what's wrong? And next thing you know, I'm working on his car too. It's a community, and it's a wonderful community. It's a great thing to get involved in.
It is.
You
get off the streets, you get involved in something that it will teach you a lot of science, a lot of math,
Yes.
a lot of respect.
Well, and there are some people that you're going to have problems with no matter what you do. You can walk up and be just the nicest guy in the world and have the biggest sunshine coming out your behind, and they're going to be mad at you. So there's nothing you can do about those people. But you get a good group of friends, have fun, enjoy short track racing. That's all I can say.
Yeah. And for those of you who are new to it, you're picking up on this podcast. It is Short Track Guys podcast on Facebook. Ted Baber at Yahoo. Well, actually, Ted_Baber at yahoo.com for all your video production plans. Be sure to get in touch with him. Shoot him an email. He'll get back with you, and you can set things up. He will probably willing be to travel, which he's done before.
Oh, yeah.
And Jim Pokrant, the driver of the 07 can'tquitfishing.com sportsman. Friday night, the Surf 100 with all the super late models. I've got pure stocks and the sportsman, and Jim just, hey man, do what you do.
Yeah, I'm going to get it done. And if you want to send me an email, my email address is jbp07@hotmail.com. I'll answer you. If you got any suggestions, anybody, my friends want to talk to me, send me a message. We'll get busy. We're going to get this done, y'all. We're going to win a race before this year's over with. I'm going to try my dangest to win this championship so I can set that championship trophy right in the middle of this table and get it done for my fans and my friends and you guys and a little bit of bragging rights.
There you go.
That sounds like a winner, and I can't wait to see that trophy here so we can take a picture and Ted bring his cameras over and we start going live with this stuff. So
Awesome.
You guys, thanks again for being here. Good luck again, Jim, this weekend, Friday night.
Thanks,
and
sir.
All the contestants that come in here run, and may everybody be safe, and we'll be praying for everybody. Talk to you guys next week.
Support our troops.
Bring some friends to the track.